Didn't think I'd be doing this, I can tell you that much. I'm not gonna lie, this was not on my 2024 bingo card. Whatever Cat Williams put in the air had the same effect as that chair that Riley threw to finesse his way out that Sneak Meter versus Robert situation. Bro, everybody just on that with each other. Cat Williams and called out all these famous comedians, Chris Brown and Quavo to win at each other on the court and in the studio. And the number one song in the entire world got niggas that ain't never touched LA trying to crip walk and vibing out to a song calling this nigga Drake a toddler tickler. Like, this is a reality that I never thought I'd live in. Matter of fact, all this shit in the air, I'm starting to feel like I don't like your ass either. Nah, I'm just playing. I love you niggas. Don't fuck with you. Kendrick versus Drake was something that was kind of looming around the industry for like several years, since like Kendrick's Control verse all the way back in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. But years kind of went by and nothing to this scale even looked like it was like on the horizon. It was just some subs here and there, seemingly from both sides, but nothing crazy enough for like some evil shit like Meet the Grams to release, you feel me? Now, I'm not gonna cap. This is out of my comfort zone, like channel-wise, you see the content on my channel, but like I'm always a huge fan when it comes to music and black media, and I also make music, and I'm a student of the game, so shit like this is right up my alley, and it's an actual hot and trending topic that I'm actually interested in for once. So also shout out to my nigga Uno for this idea. He's literally one of the main reasons this video exists to begin with, and I definitely had an opinion on this whole thing and I wanted to share it, but I was too caught up in the my channel niche and all this other bullshit that just boxes me in as a creator. So shout out to him for giving me the courage to even attempt this, and make sure you go check out a fellow real nigga and sub to his channel too. Before I really get into this, I just want to really like lay out my overarching opinion on this conflict in general. This is all entertainment to me. So do I think this shit is messy? Yes. Do I believe that people profit off of negativity in the black community? They get quiet when something good and something happens to unify us? Yes. Do I believe that this further divides us as a people? I mean, it shouldn't, but it did. And at the end of the day, this shit is entertainment for me personally, like I said. But I know some people is gonna treat this like it's their lives, and I feel sorry for you. So I'm not gonna try to offend anyone. I'm here to just give my 2 cents, but if you do get offended, you're probably not a real nigga anyway, and this channel is for real niggas only, so you can see yourself out. But that's enough intro. Without further ado, let's get to the show.
Love you forever, but sometimes we seem to disagree. Pray that you protect her and increase my sympathy. I'm a mini you, one day I'll have a mini me. I'm your son, I shouldn't treat you like an enemy. I get annoyed when you point out all my tendencies.
To start out, we have to go all the way back to 2013 because all this started with Control. And I know like in the moment when Control dropped, we were all like, oh, this nigga Kendrick just shit on these niggas and name dropped them in the song. We was all hyped and shit about that too. But in hindsight, it seemed like, and side note, I don't know any of these niggas. This is pure speculation in my opinion. He would just listen off niggas he acknowledged as actual competition. It was more like, if you weren't on that list, then you should feel disrespected type shit. That's just my interpretation. And I'm not sure how Drake responds to this for real. Like I said, I don't know these niggas and I don't know how they feel. I'm not around these niggas to know how they feel. But I know like in an interview, he said some shit like, I know good and well he's not murdering me on any platform or some shit like that. Basically like reciprocating the competitive energy pretty much. I didn't think too much of it back in the day when I heard this, so I was like, I ain't really tripped like that. Fast forward a little later that year and we have the 2013 BET cypher where Kendrick goes at Drake directly. And this was way harder than I remember again. This is a tough ass verse, I'm not gonna lie. And if you don't know, the line was, and nothing was the same since I dropped Control and tucked the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes, which is referencing Drake's Nothing Was the Same album that dropped that same year. One thing I used to love as a shorty was these BET Hip Hop Award ciphers, gang. There are so many ones that I remember watching live, like the one with Eminem and Black Thought, the one with Busta Rhymes, Slaughterhouse, the West Coast one that Kendrick was in was E40, Corrupting Kendrick. And the TDE one we're talking about here, I watched this live as well. I remember like, I heard this the first time, like when you listen to BET Cypher, like the BET Cypher, you can hear like the crowd's reaction to what the niggas are actually saying, like they listen to the Cypher too. And you can hear the audience be like, when that line came out, you can hear the audience be like, oh, and you can hear that shit in the crowd. Some of them niggas knew what it was too. This is kind of like, at this point, it's kind of like, oh, this shit is actually about to happen. But it never really turned into anything like immediately. Fast forward, some subs probably get shot from both sides. I don't really care to do that much research finding and deciphering every little line that could be about the other nigga. I got better shit to do in my time and other content to work on, my brother. But some subliminals have definitely been thrown here and there from both camps, 1000%. Fast forward to Drake's latest studio album For All the Dogs drops, and First Person Shooter drop, which is a hard song, still love this song to this day. It's with Drake and J. Cole on it, and they're both like parading this like big three narrative. that's been going on for a while, and there are rumors that Kendrick was supposed to be on it. I don't know if this is true, but we'll get to this later. Now, fast forward to like that dropping, and this nigga Kendrick literally just hopped on one of the best beats of the year, damn near, and basically says, hey, fuck all that Unity and Big 3 shit, nigga, I'm the king. And if we're being honest, this is really consistent with his Control verse. Like, he let us know 10 years ago that, hey, I'm not here to be friends with niggas, I'm here to be the best, and you gotta respect it. It's consistent with what he said in the past. There's also this one line here that I didn't agree with, but once I got some context, this might be a reach by the way, but once I got some context, I was like, damn, this shit might be kind of raw. That's kind of a raw line. When he said like, yo, best work is a light pack, reasonably, I was under the impression that Kendrick thought Drake's best music was ass. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that one, pal. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. But this may be a reach, like I said. But this, he could have meant light as an L-Y-T instead of L-I-G-H-T. It's like alluding to the popular battle rapper Daylight. And if you don't know, Daylight's a rapper, and he said like in the song, and he's a writer as well, and he said like in a song that like, he basically wrote God's plan and back to back. And if that's what it actually was, I think that's actually like a really good line. And that's actually really cool. But then again, this could be Kendrick fans giving this nigga extra credit. They do that a lot. They tend to do that a lot. So I'll take that with a grain of salt. I guess this was a straw that broke the camel's back though. In my honest opinion, this was just as direct as that BET cypher was. And I could see like why Kendrick did this too. Once again, I don't know these niggas, but from what I see, J. Cole and Kendrick are friends and Kendrick and Drake are not. So Kendrick might have felt a way about being mentioned on a song in a way like brotherhood type way, saying we're all on the same level type shit and we're all in the same league, and B mentioning him on a song in that fashion with a nigga that he don't like might have turned him the wrong way. Apparently this is the last shot because Drake responded with push-ups, but before that, Cole actually decided to enter the combo himself as well. So Cole comes out with this phenomenal album. That Might Delete Later project is a really good album. And he puts, at the very end of the project, he puts a diss song towards Kendrick called 7 Minute Drill. And I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I still feel the same way about it, and I feel like this and the Hard Part 6 share one big thing. It just didn't feel like those songs had enough care and attention in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, Cole is one of my favorite rappers ever. And I think Might Delete Later was a really good project. Like, Cole was rapping his ass off on most of these songs. Like, Trade the Truth and the Bees is a great song. 100 Wabbits is great. Pricey. Pretty much you could choose anything off the album and you gonna hear this nigga rap his ass off, you feel me? And this song came on and it just didn't feel like it belonged on this album. Now, let's be honest with ourselves here. If you compare like the rest of the album rapping to this song, the quality of rapping is just like a drastic drop off in my opinion. And it sounded like Cole was just talking out his ass on a few of these lines. I respect him for being like a student of the game and using the Jay-Z takeover approach 1,000,000%, but it just didn't work here in my opinion. Trying to use like the boring narrative around Kendrick's music was a miss in my opinion. Cause let's be real, although I don't believe this shit at all, I don't believe this narrative to be true at all, but I think that boring narrative was around For Your Eyes Only, like J. Cole's album. I think people more so had the narrative of Kendrick making ultra woke music to the point where it starts sounding like he's just saying bullshit sometimes. I never really got the boring narrative around Kendrick music like that. Maybe I'm just under a rock, maybe that's just it. I definitely heard that narrative around Cole's music though, and I still hear it to this day, which I still don't agree with. And trying to use that yo second shit put niggas to sleep but they gassed it for To Pimp a Butterfly is crazy. It's crazy work in my opinion, I'm not gonna lie. But it is what it is. Overall, 7 Minute Drill just didn't sound as well prepared as the other songs in the battle and on the album, in my opinion. Like, even if you compare them to the ones that's not even all that personal. And like, as far as Cole apologizing, I don't, like I said, this is entertainment to me. I don't care, me personally. Cole is still gonna be one of the best rappers of all time at the end of all this, in my opinion. The way I view him does not change. It really doesn't. Cause all this is entertainment and like this shit could all be fake anyway. So my view of Cole doesn't change at all, and like consistent with Cole's character too. Cause I think he said in the interview one time, he was like, I be getting compared to these guys and we all in a competition, but I don't want to seem like we never kicked it. Him dropping out is really consistent with his character, even though it didn't end up the way he thought it would. So fast forward again and boom, Push-Ups drops and it sends rap even further into the frenzy because it's finally happening. This is a battle 10 years into the making and we finally get to see what's up. And Push-Ups is a great song in my opinion. Before I listened and I even got invested in this shit, I kind of predicted that this wasn't just gonna be a straight up rap battle. Now, I don't think I'm biased, but y'all will let me know if I am. Do I think Drake is a good rapper? Hell yeah. I think this nigga can like rap his ass off when he really wants to. But do I think he's as good as Kendrick is? If we're speaking on the technical rap ability standpoint, hell no. I don't think he can match up with Cole technically either, but that's just me. That's my opinion. So Drake took the funny / internet / quotable line / catchiness route. And I think like that's perfect for him. And I thought this shit was a good move because it's still a great song. And Drake definitely knows how to make bangers and shit with high replay value. And some of them lines funny as hell. Like how you big stepping with a size 7 men's online is hilarious. Calling a nigga short, these funny little insults, cool. Of course, there was some subject matter in there. I was like, Drake, I don't know if you should be the one talking about shit like that. Like the contract splits and the Taylor Swift angle, but otherwise, this is a great first move, and it definitely succeeded in bringing like the dick eaters out for sure on both sides. And then Drake doubles down and drops Taylor Made freestyle, which is more funny shit. It was another good track. People make a big fuss about the AI shit. Me personally, I really don't care. I'm not that invested, and two, I'm looking at this as from a more, hey, this is war. There are no rules and morals in this shit type perspective. And this is another good and funny song too. There was only 2 things I was worried about in this song, and those were the tell him that he messed with young girls is a gift from me line, and the what the fuck is taking you so long, we waiting on you. And the second one is self-explanatory in hindsight, now that you see what's happening now. When I heard that first one, I was like, I don't know about that, Drake. I see what you're trying to do, but that doesn't really work in this context. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, it seems like Drake did something like an Eminem type thing here. In M's music, and even in some of his diss track, I think he puts like his flaws forward on some full transparency type shit. So he admits to shit like being poor, struggling, being a drug addict, just like his mother's a drug addict, and like being kind of crazy, essentially. Essentially, he's owning up to the shit while softening the blows and giving the ops less material to go off of in a battle setting, if that makes sense. That Drake line to me feels like he's trying to do the same thing, in this case, but a little bit more comical, in a comical way. But being poor and a drug addict is different from like an underage girl. It's way different. There's no softening the blow for some shit like that. Nigga, you're a sick ass nigga. And later on, this will be brought to the light and this angle will be approached. So for a little while, you fast forward for a little while, Drake seems like he's winning. The internet is talking. Like Kendrick's getting clowned on the internet. He got academics like as like a Shammy or a Woj, like the NBA shit. He got like academics as a Shammy or a Woj. He got him in the palm of his hand. And he's winning the internet game and the funny and trolling game, which he should be. This is Drake we're talking about here. Then Euphoria drops. And I go up to my brother the morning of, and I'm like, hey, Kendrick dropped. And I think this nigga Kendrick just out funny Drake. And we both already felt like if Drake was gonna win this, he was gonna have to go the funny route, and he would have to take that route because he's not gonna out-rap Kendrick. Nigga, Euphoria is not only a funny ass and raw ass song, it's the perfect balance for both fan bases, both Drake and Kendrick's fan bases. So hear me out. I think that a lot of Drake fans go for like, not all, of course, like I'm not calling all you niggas like bad listeners. You listen to music however the fuck you want. But I think a lot of Drake fans go for like replay value and quotable lines in songs, if that makes sense. A lot of Kendrick fans like to dissect shit and find deeper meanings to it. And it's like a research paper type shit. And this song literally gives both parties what they want. Bringing up the Diddy shit because he allegedly slapped that nigga was funny. The hater approach he took was funny. That's how shit. I got a son to raise, but like I said, you don't know nothing about that. That's funny. Gee, when I heard that, when I see you stand by sexy red, I believe you see two bad bitches. I believe you don't like women. This real competition, you might pop ass with them. That was funny as hell. I was dead. Like I had to pause the song when I heard that shit. And then like for the Kendrick fans, the Have You Ever Play, Have You Ever thing, the name of the song was Self, V12, that's a fast one, back to back. I like that record. I'm gonna get back to that for the record. And there's other shit for them too. He did all this without bringing up any personal matters too. And he was telling folks like, hey, it's all love, but you don't want to get personal. You don't. And I low-key want to talk about the Euphoria name too. So if you don't know, Drake is an executive producer. Apparently Drake is an executive producer of the show Euphoria. And apparently there's a lot of sex shown in here and it's a high school setting. So these are all minors. I'm going to take the people's word for it because my homie Taj said he turned that hoe on. He's seen wee-wees out immediately. He said he turned that hoe right back off. So I'm going to take his word for it. Once again, I do not know these niggas, but it seems like this was Kendrick's way of saying, hey gang, there's a major angle in this battle that I haven't took yet. I'm just letting you know that I'm aware of this shit. Let's keep this shit at rap and not get family involved. And then he dropped the 616 in LA song, which is another warning, and it was cool. And it felt like one of those, gang, I'm gonna say it one more time. It's the last time I say this shit. You do not want shit to get personal. And while introducing the whole OVO mode thing, and Drake allegedly trying to put money out to find dirt on Kendrick, which is another really good move in my opinion. Now at this point, when I see the cards on the table, I'm like, maybe this shit should stop here, because this sounds like it can get really bad, and boy, it did. So Family Matters drops, and I'm like, damn, this is really good. Like, this is way better than Push-Ups in every aspect possible. Him putting the Good Kid, Mad City Man, the Crusher is funny as hell. The lines are funny as hell. The where's your uncle at? Because I need to go speak to the man in the house. That's funny as hell. Alluding to the Auntie Diary song, that's funny. Then when you put your hands on your girl, is this self-defense because she beckoning you? Like, that's funny as hell. And you hired a crisis management team to cover up that you beating your queen. Like, that was a very good quotable too. Side note, I am not laughing at these actual acts. I'm laughing at the delivery and how they use this information and how they deliver it in the actual diss song. Drake made a banger, and he threw out some pretty serious allegations while still making it funny and a good song. Saying one of his kids into his and it's his manager Dave Freeze. Crazy allegations, right? And this is definitely that red button that Drake was referring to, because you can kind of tell because he shot a video for it. And it definitely like delivered on all fronts. Like, Family Matters is a great diss song with a lot of replay value. And it definitely makes you look at Kendrick a little funny with some of these allegations getting thrown around. 1000%. Honestly, I feel like if this wasn't Kendrick Lamar right here, this is definitely a kill shot and a battle ender, 1000%. But man, Kendrick shocked the world damn near 20 minutes later after Family Matters dropped. Gang, Meet the Grams is a evil ass song, gang. I thought I was the only one that felt like this, but I was watching the Speakeasy yesterday with Berleezy Joe and PG, and they said the same thing. This song is super unsettling, bro, and it doesn't sit right with you after the first listen. The sinister and ominous keys, the dry but serious delivery, and the dark and sometimes like downright disrespectful subject matter felt like it was damn near on purpose to completely change your mood after hearing Family Matters. Like, this song sounded like it was made for Family Matters immediately, but it dropped 20 minutes later, which is crazy. It's a completely different mood. Lecturing Drake's son, telling him that he's sorry that Drake is his father is so disrespectful, nigga. Bringing up T.I.'s friend that peed on Drake and using that as kind of like a lesson to stand up for yourself to Adonis. Telling him to play this back when he's older is really messed up, and it's crazy, bro. And it's crazy. It's even crazy because even though he's dissing Drake in this song, he's still talking like he cares for Adonis and actually wants to look out for him and be his mentor. Which, if, like I said, I don't know these niggas, but a nigga like me, if I hear some shit like this, if you're Drake, this gotta piss you off even more. It has to. The letter to his mom and dad was dark too. The worst part of it by far was like having the sex offenders on the payroll, Drake getting really involved in some really sick shit. And while doing this, like saying that we need to protect our women and girls by keeping him away from niggas like this. And then boom, the shock value comes through with the Kendrick revealing like he has an 11-year-old daughter, allegedly, which shocked everyone. And he ended the song off with a message directly to Drake himself, telling him that he's a shitty person, he lives a lie. This damn near took all the win out of Family Matters sales immediately. Well, what makes it even worse at this point is that Kendrick was not done either. That's what makes it even worse. They Not Like Us dropped, and after my first listen, I thought to myself like, damn, this could be the final nail in the coffin. And gang, I think I was actually wrong about that. They Not Like Us is a phenomenal move, involving the West Coast and playing like the people's champ route while making a summer hit. Like, while making a summer hit out of calling Drake a pedophile and a colonizer is so crazy to me. Yes, They Not Like Us is his song, and yes, it's record breaker dethroning Drake shit himself, and yes, it's in the LA Dodgers warm up, and yes, they played it on TNT during the playoffs, but I still don't think this was a song that ended the battle. I think the Heart Part 6 was. I think Drake shot himself in the foot with this one. I knew this was over when the internet heard that fake mold shit that he said on the Heart Part 6, and they either didn't buy it or they bought it and said that it didn't even matter. I think it's crazy seeing the internet like turn on Drake in real time, but that's what it's bound to happen when you at the top. It's bound to happen. Like, niggas want to see you fall. And the I'm too famous to be a pedo shit, they would have arrested me already, is a crazy way to try to spin that in your favor again. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of free niggas out there with a lot of those allegations around their name that people knew like, hey, he did something weird. There's a lot of free people like that. A lot of those people in the past that got caught up and they past caught up to them with shit like that, they were free for a long time too. I think it took like R. Kelly 20 years or some shit like that. And when I heard that shit, I was like, hey gang, say psych right now, bro. You did not just say that. And it doesn't help that he like misinterpreted like Mother Asoba saying that Kendrick got molested as a kid, and that's why he's so fixated on pedophiles. That wasn't the route to take either. In the reality in the song, his mother asked him if his cousin did it, to him, and he said no, and his mother ended up, he revealed that his mother got like sexually assaulted in Chicago, and that trauma just trying to pass down, and it scared her and made her wanted to protect Kendrick a little bit more. So that's how it actually went, and that just wasn't a route. Like, first off, your media literacy looking low, and second off, like, you got sexually assaulted, I see why you obsessed with pedophile raps. It is not a good angle to take. Especially, and you Drake, you know this. You know what the public eye is, and you know how you look saying certain things. That just wasn't the angle to take, and it wasn't a smart move. But like I said, I'm not gonna look at Drake any different unless like shit comes out, and I separate art from the artist anyway. Either way, I'm listening to Drake after all this is done anyway, so I don't care. And now it's a good time to talk about the fake mold thing too. So me personally, I don't buy it because like at this point, there's no real proof of anything yet. And if I'm Drake, the one thing that I would like to have receipts on is that. So why aren't they out yet? And honestly, I think like I've been hearing a lot of people say, like my homie Jonathan said, like, there's no receipts, it's just allegations on both sides. I don't think we're getting receipts for anything in this beef anyway. Because if we did, it'll probably lead to niggas going to jail for a pretty long time. These are pretty serious allegations getting thrown out here. We only have a few things to work off of with these allegations. And with Drake lying before in the Pusha T situation, and niggas seeming to hate him and wanting Drake's downfall altogether, Drake was kind of in a losing battle from the jump. I hear this narrative a lot. They said that they hated Drake more than they loved Kendrick, and I'd probably be inclined to agree. And it sounds like Drake's kind of defeated in this song. Am I tweaking? Like, is it just me? I think my brother said, like, when he was listening to it, he was like, because Drake was like rapping. Like, Drake actually sounded pretty good. He sounded like he was rapping like for real, like actually seriously, and not trying to make a hit song. Like, he tried to actually make like a sinister diss record. But he was like, he heard like a beat, breaking the beat with no rapping in it. He was like, please don't tell me that's it. And the nigga started talking. He was like, no. All that shit he said in the air, he could have rapped. And then he was like, I don't even want to talk about this no more. You're not a worthy opponent since you're tripling down on that bullshit. Like, it just sounds like he just bowed out of this. Like, it sounds like he's defeated. Like, I must be tweaking. And I could be reaching here once again. I think I sent a tweet after Family Matters dropped. And I thought I was seeing like Whitney's brother actually supporting him and telling him to fuck up Drake and retweeting they don't like us. So now I'm no Sherlock Holmes. And like I said, I don't know these niggas. I'm no Sherlock Holmes by any means. But if a nigga was beating my sister, I wouldn't be openly supporting this nigga. If anything, I might support his op. But the allegations around Drake's name, that's a slippery slope too. But like I said, I could be reaching. Like, I don't know if any of this shit is true. I don't even know if that was Whitney's brother for real. And like from Kendrick's side, the pedophile allegations aren't just something that he pulled out his ass. Like, this is something that's been rumored for a while. And there's actually like evidence of him being weird to a minor on camera. So do with that information as you will. Like I said, I don't care about any of this shit. That did look a little weird, I'm not gonna lie. Like, but that's an older video. And I think people like let him get away with that shit. And I think nobody really said anything. Or they didn't like stress it enough for it to become like a big thing. It sounded like, in the hard part, it just sounded like Drake's resources are depleted. It sounded like he wasn't ready for Kendrick to still be in the lead after Family Matters dropped. And this bitch came back to bite him in the ass. Because if you look at the like to dislike ratio on that bitch, this bitch got infinite warfare amount of dislikes. So you niggas hated that trailer when that came out. And that's crazy because the internet game is Drake's game. And it seemed like all Kendrick did seemingly was post 3 YouTube links, a video on Instagram, and like took away all the copyright claims on creators' videos, and he beat him at his own game. You would think that the roles would be reversed in this scenario, but this nigga Kendrick met Drake on every level and played every game that he's played, and he beat him at it. He took the funny route, he beat him at that. He took the hit song route, he beat him at that, and dethroned his most popular like rap debut. It's crazy. He can't use a sales game, like he can't use the popular vote thing. The world simply just had him losing. That is what it is. And like I said, I don't think this is gonna hurt Drake's career like that if this doesn't go any further. Of course, if it doesn't hopefully this doesn't turn into like a police investigation thing, which it could, because that's how the feds get to niggas. They start in the rap beefs. I heard Drake fans say this shit. This was a jarring thing. Once I heard that, I heard a Drake fan say, like, if you take the daughter verse out of Meet the Grams, it's still his. I was like, oh yeah, he lost. Like, he lost. Like, that's a point that niggas wouldn't even make if Drake was still like in the lead type shit. Honestly, you still gotta respect Drake at the end of all this. Cause look at like who he's rapped against so far. He's battled Common, Pusha T, Meek, and now Kendrick Lamar. And he put up a damn good fight in this last one. He still got his ass beat, but he still put up a really good fight in my opinion. In the end, the winner is Kendrick by TKO and Drake being a freaky ass nigga and a 6ix9ine god. That's all from me, gang. As always, man, I hope y'all have a great day. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, man. Love y'all, man.
Forever, but sometimes we seem to disagree. Pray that you protect her and increase my sympathy. I'm a mini you, one day I'll have a mini me. I'm your son, I shouldn't treat you like an enemy. I get a no.